All right, everyone, we are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us this Saturday night. Saturday night here in Atlanta. We greatly appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. Kyle, how's the weather up there in Virginia?
It's shitty. It was good, all beautiful all week, right? We had 75, 80-degree weather, and today it dropped down to the 40s. Real big disappointment.
Yeah, it got kind of cool today here in Atlanta too. But next week is supposed to be warm the whole week almost. So
Yeah, but can't wait
looking
for
forward
next
to
week.
that. Spring is coming. So guys, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you go to dynastymirror.com. Also, make sure you go to donfo.africa tour. We got one more spot left for Sierra Leone, April 17th to the 30th. If you're interested in joining, please go to donfo, DANFO, dot Africa. Again, donfo, DANFO, dot Africa. Without further ado, we got our brother on with us today, Kala Genesis. And today's topic, why is, we're going to say, faux CNN, black people's faux MSNBC, black media who wants to emulate MSNBC and CNN, why are they failing? I mean, it's not just Black News Network. Your boy Roland Martin, he's begging for money from Joe Biden. You got Jamil Hill. I was looking at her numbers. Her numbers are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Why once these black, I would say, liberal news pundits, why when they leave major TV stations or networks, when they go on their own, they don't do anything?
Like I said, they've always been a farce. I've said this a long time ago. I said black people see people. We're the only group of people in America, right, where people tell us what we are, right? Anybody sitting, a group of kindergarten students could sit in a room, right, and create a black agenda, right? There's we could black people, and they have the money. Somebody will put them up, and black people start following it. That's how gullible we are. We don't have any real black agenda. The only real black agenda you see, love it or hate it, are these YouTube channels and blogs like mine, and people like Prince Steins, even people we don't agree with. Even when you look at people like Angry Man or even Tariq Nasheed, Umar Johnson, all these other people like this, in the ADOS FBA movement and stuff like that. These are things that black people are talking about. That's what news is. News is what people are talking about. What's on people's minds, right? That's what I always thought that journalism and stuff like what's on people's mind, what people are talking about, right? When you turn on the black, and another thing is, I tried for the longest time. I asked you, Dinus, where could I find the Black News Network? Right? Remember that? I could not find it. My cable subscriber didn't carry it. And I'm gonna shock you. I'm gonna hurt some feelings tonight. Do you know what the average viewership was for the Black News Network in prime time?
Well, like 5,000 people.
No, 4,000 people. That is a shame and disgrace. No wonder it tanked. That means that Dinus, your show from Thursday night in 24 hours had 5,000 views, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you was averaging like 400 people, 500 people in the live stream, So if you take you and several other people that was live streaming that night, right? You had like way more viewership than somebody who invested $50 million to get it out there. You wonder why they failed? The highest is 4,000 viewerships. That's a shame and disgrace. That's because there's no black people. And another thing, when you say Black News Network, right? They don't say Black News Network. What do they talk? Who do they go to? Mark Lamont Hill. Mark Lamont Hill. I forgot the other guy's name.
Hey, you know why Mark Lamont Hill got fired from CNN, right?
What's that?
He got fired because he was pro-Palestine.
Oh yeah. It's stupid.
Yeah, and so so where's Mark Lamont Hill gonna go now?
He has no place to go. All these guys, let me tell you something. All these guys, right, like Roland Martin, they're not serious about building any Black News Network or anything. They're trying to make as much noise and seem much credible so they can get picked by Fox, CNN, or MSNBC. That's what it's all about. They're not interested in building any real black platform, and everybody sees that. Because if they were interested in building black platforms, then they would take on Charles Blow. You know, you did Telawadi, whatever, a long time DC. I don't know who the hell that is, but I know who Charles Blow was. He was on MSNBC. Mike Hill, and all these other people. And so the bottom line is this: all these people, if they got on YouTube, right, they could not get an audience because nobody wants to hear what they want. Nobody wants to hear about Orange Man bad, Democrats good. Orange Man bad, Democrats good.
Say it again.
Orange Man bad, Democrats good. You know, if that's what you're going to tell the black people all day and all night, they're not going to want to listen to you. In the end, you cannot force nobody to tune into you. You got to have charisma. You have to be talking about what people say. Mark Lamont Hill did a thing where he was on this thing where he was telling this white lady, and you know, it was all set up. Yeah, I think white people are racist, right? And Mark, if you think that's gonna get you some black viewers, they're gonna say, "Yeah, right, Black Power, brother." What, dude? You're so out of decade. Nobody cares about your fist pumping, trying to appeal to the Black Power and everything like that. That's not gonna get you your thing. You got to talk. You got to look at what's selling in Black America. Black people want to talk about. They're concerned about immigration. They're concerned about being replaced by Black immigrant groups. Black people are concerned about what's going on in Africa. Black people are apprehensive about being involved in the Ukraine war. You know, Black people are concerned about crime. We talk about crime every day. Every Black person I talk to is tired of crime. They're tired of murder. They talk about we're losing our neighborhoods. You know, these are the topics Black people talk about every day. But the news people, they're like tone deaf. You know, they had a little bump with the what's the name, Kajanji Jackson hearings. They get a bump right there, right? And the Black News Network had a bump during the presidential debates. Oh yeah, it's easy, you know. All you're doing, but when it comes down to really engaging the Black community, first of all, you got to be available to them. My thing is why didn't they start it as a streaming service? You know, where you can get, if you were really want to engage the people, you get the people to like they could go on your channel and all these other channels and partner with you to get subscriptions to like a live, like Netflix. Netflix did it. Netflix is billions of dollars. Why are people paying that? Why? Because when people pay for something, they're gonna watch it. You know, and then cable viewership, right? That's sad when YouTube streams are doing better than cable thing that you're paying all this money for. And so the advertisers stop paying money and everything. It's the same thing that went out with Ebony Magazine and Black magazines. Why? Because
is Ebony Magazine even in print still, or just online?
I don't think so. You wouldn't recognize that. But every once in a while they put out an issue, and just like Essence Magazine, they have two lesbians on the cover. You know, it's like for decades these magazines spoke to us. Jet Magazine spoke to us, right? But when you go mainstream, right, and you got mainstream money backing you, right, and you notice that the issues start changing, you know, you say, well, I don't agree with that. And you know, black people are not stupid. You can't come into our community, come into our spaces and start changing the narrative and think you're going to last. It doesn't work like that. People John Johnson's daughter single-handedly destroyed Ebony Magazine, you know.
That wasn't even his, that was his adopted daughter, light skin chick,
light skin chick, she came in there and she destroyed it, and had all these ideas about taking it, going in a different direction and everything. The magazine lost its credibility with the Black audience, people don't want to see white people on the cover of a Black magazine. We don't want to see that. We don't want to hear all that, And so just like Jet Magazine, you got Jet Magazine because that was us, right? It had the Beauty of the Week. Remember that? The Jet Magazine Beauty of the Week, that was us. That was basically Black America.
Listen, hey, Kyle, I had a trick where if I took Jet Magazine, I could open it right to Beauty of the Week, right at
that's the first thing everybody went to.
Well, I could open it right to Beauty of the Week.
Yeah, that's what everybody went to.
Now it'll be considered sexist, yeah, sexist,
misogynist, and
misogyny. All that stuff. Yeah, I could open it. Like I would take Jet Magazine, I would just open it right to Beauty of the Week.
So we lost all that. So all the stuff, like I said, and this goes to question what we were talking about last week, right? Who are we? There's on Facebook. I don't know. You remember? It's called Vintage African American Photography. You ever been in that group? They had like 3,000 members at one time. But anyway, they would show pictures of Black Americans. Like, wow, we were so beautiful back then, right? And all these Black images and everything like that from Essence, Ebony magazine, and people just putting their own pictures of this is my grandma and grandpa in 1920. Beautiful. Oh my God, we were so beautiful. Everybody's so well dressed. Everything like that, right? The presidential elections come around, right? There's whites in the group. Right away, they start putting up. Matter of fact, this is leading up to the year 2020. Leading up, this is what tells me what I'm talking about. Leading up to 2000, the election, right? 2020, Black people were really going to sit it out. Black people were like, well, we didn't have it so bad under Trump. Well, that's the majority of Black people, right? And so there was no real motivation to vote. Along comes the George Floyd incident, right? Then all of a sudden, these white people come in all the Black groups on Facebook and start saying, "Oh, we got to get out there and vote." I said, "Wait!" Everybody's like, "Wait a minute! This is a non-political group. Why are you in here?" No, completely disrespecting the forum and everything, putting out all these things. Vote this, and vote for this. Kamala Harris this, Joe Biden this. It was still during the when we didn't have a nominee, and so everybody's like, "Why are you talking about this in a forum which we just have a little safe space to be among ourselves, show good times that we had in our past and everything?" It's because they don't care about what we think about. Same thing what happens with Black magazines. Nobody cares about what we think about what we think. They want to feed their political narrative onto Black America and call it a Black news network. None of the issues. Would you ever hear anything? Would you think the bicentennial was played in the Black News Network of Liberia? No.
It wasn't? Not at all?
No, of course not. I'll give Roland Martin that. He did go to Liberia. He did something on it, right? But they weren't playing nothing like that. Was any African news, right? Did we get any African news? Unless it's something bad that happened, right? But when you look at the Black news networks and everything, and I always thought, why they don't cover Africa, right? They don't cover Africa. I remember back in the days, there was a magazine. I don't know if you remember this magazine called Emerge magazine. Do you remember that? Do you remember Emerge?
Yeah, I do. I remember.
Okay. Emerge came out in, I think in like 88, 89. I remember. I loved Emerge magazine. Why? Because they were more political, and there was an alternative to to Ebony and Jet. They were like more in Essence, right? They talked about issues that Ebony and Jet wouldn't cover. I mean, Ebony covered the Nation of Islam extensively and everything, but it was always from a distance, right? Emerge magazine put Minister Farrakhan on the cover and everything. They had this one article on the cover called African Dictator. First time I learned really about Africa in 1989. It said African dictators, right? And they would talk about Mugabe. They talk about Nigeria. Somebody was beaten to death in Nigeria. And it was like these African countries would feed them. And so Emerge magazine had African correspondents, right? And the section was called International News. And Emerge magazine put Botswana's miracle on the front cover. You know what I'm saying? Botswana was a African success. The first article that has an African success story on a major Black magazine. The whole Black community is seeing Botswana as a success story on the front page of a magazine, major magazine. That hasn't happened since. Now all that's being erased. So therefore, that's the direction we were moving towards back in the late 80s, early 90s, right? What got into it was the fact that they're saying Black people they're coming away from it because Ebony magazine was opening up offices in Nigeria, and then after the fall of apartheid, they opened up a branch in South Africa, Johannesburg, South Africa, publication, South African edition. They opened up a Nigerian edition. I think they even had a Kenyan edition, and so therefore these magazines were linking us globally, right? And then all that just vanished, went away. And the Black media now, instead of building on that trend of being global and international and stuff like that, right? They're right back to us.
Hold on 1 second, Colin. Guys, hit the like button. I mean, for God's sake, listen. The least you guys could do is hit that like button, please.
Like.
I mean, golly, man. Hit the like, please, y'all. Please hit the like button. Thank you.
I'll start singing.
The algorithm. Hit the like button.
I'll start singing. Check us out. So the bottom line is Black media. When you say Black media, right? Now, people listen to you, they listen to me, they listen to everybody else. Why? Because they're getting information and they engaging in discussions, right? when you look at your show and you had a Bube on, right? And people are bringing up history of like Nigeria and stuff like that. Tell me anywhere in Black America are you going to get that sort of discussion?
Nowhere at all.
Nowhere at all, right? Now, to ask a question, are Black people interested in that? Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Because Black people, Black people are making life decisions based on what they hear. They're like, oh, I heard Search for Uhuru, man. I think I'm gonna take a trip. I'm planning my next honeymoon over in Ghana. I think I'm going to South Africa, and all these other people that have been inspired by your work and what you're doing and stuff like that. They're making life decisions, and so therefore, what I'm saying is this: so the Black news is that if that's not news, I don't know what is. You telling me that African Americans going and investing in Africa is not news? That's not news. That's not news. African American building homes on the continent. African Americans investing on the continent. That's not news. African Americans. My sister. I forgot her name. In Namibia. She's been in Namibia for like 12 years now. Has a husband and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She does Kayla Sutton. Kaylin Sutton.
I know.
She has a blog called African American in Africa. She's the one who started a lot of this off, you and her, and she lives over there with her husband and 2 kids and everything like that. She's doing very well in Namibia. And so the bottom line is this: that's not news. You mean to tell me nobody is going to pick that up and say, that's news, and African Americans investment group going to Uganda with $350 million, that's not news. You see what I'm talking about? And so what I'm saying is, Mark Lamont Hill talking about the Orange Man 24 hours a day, and all Charles Blow and everything talking about, well, we got to get out there and vote and all stuff like that. For what? And so therefore, voting, and police brutality. Yeah, we understand about police brutality and all stuff like that, racism. And that's another thing. Black people, we're too, and I'm controversial right here. We're too fixated on white people, and we're too fixated on racism. You're on mute, Dice.
But I'm on mute because sometimes there's feedback, so I just mute myself.
We're too fixated on white people and what white people think, and we're too fixated on racism. Racism. You mean tell me we don't have a life? When you watch Ebony,
say it again, Carlo.
Racism. There's plenty of racism. Let's eat this racism biscuits and gravy and pork chops meal. There's plenty for to go around. Racism. So 24 hours a day, somebody's telling you how racism. And so white people, every time we talk to white people, they automatically think they can start a conversation with you talking about racism. Look, dude, like I said, when we're doing our thing in the BAO, you and I and everything, we're not talking about racism. We're talking about other things. We're talking about things. And if you are around enough Black people, right? If you go to a barbershop, Dinus, right? How often do you hear Black men, a group of Black men discussing race or racism? Never, right? So when to the average white person, what they think is we're sitting around all day talking about them and talking about racism instead of living our lives and building. So they have a misconception when they listen to Michael Eric Dyson and all these people, see, the problem is our white brothers and sisters, and so white, and so you got all these people out here. All they do is talk about racism, white supremacy, racism. The country is right. The average Black person is trying to get ahead. They're trying to do other things and everything. And God forbid if we talk about something outside of America, we have to be whipped back in the line and to deal with the racism. We want to talk about something else. I want to talk about what's going on in Kenya right now. I want to talk about what's going on in South Africa. I want to talk about what's going on in Nigeria. I want to talk about what's going on in Zambia. I want to talk about what's going on in whatever country in Africa. I want to talk about what's going on in Europe. I want to talk about what's going on around the world. So the only thing Black people talk about is racism 24 hours a day. And you wonder why you only got 4,000 live streams. All you're going to do is talk about somebody getting shot and shot by police and everything. Black people talk about crime more than anything else. When I talk to black people, the number one thing on their mind is the safety of their communities. You know, the number one thing on their mind, every last single black person I talk to, they talk about the safety in our communities, right? Because we don't have an honest, frank discussion, right? Because the fact that when you turn on the TV, right? Turn on TV, like New York right now is out of control. New York City is out of control, right? And
Listen, Colin. I swear, every 2 weeks, once a month, there's a drive-by shooting here in Atlanta in which a 7-year-old, 8-year-old infant is getting killed in a drive-by.
and nobody wants to talk about it. You know, nobody wants to
Oh
talk about
no,
it.
no one wants to talk about it. Instead, they just want to focus on Stacey Abrams. We got to get Stacey Abrams in office.
Right. And so therefore, what you have is this: you have a disconnect. Black people, we don't know how to really go after these people who just keep staring, because all they do is use emotion. You saw Cory Booker at the hearings right there. You saw him, you know, oh, my mother, and you're like this. Emotion. You're a friggin' sitting U.S. Senator. You're going to put somebody that's going to have a lifetime appointment on the Supreme Court. You don't have any better question than asking that, oh, I see my sister. I know you don't, nigga. You know?
Right.
I see my sister. And the bottom line, this is the level of intelligence. And then you had one guy that's on MSNBC, some guy with gray beard and everything, like a black werewolf, Wolfman Jack and shit, talking about, yeah, I would have went over there and smacked one of the senators. You're gonna say them asking legitimate questions and whatnot because she's a black woman. You know what I'm saying? That nobody can ask her legitimate
because she's a what, Colin? Because
she's a black woman, you know, black girl magic. You know?
Hey, but Colin, real quick, not to interject. So, black girl, you know, Brittany Griner, the girl who's locked up in Russia.
Right.
They've been completely quiet on her.
Oh, because
like, listen, Colin, team protect black women at all costs. They've been completely quiet about Brittany Griner.
Why? Because Jesus Christ is in office right now. You know, the white savior is in office, Biden. You know, and I look after looking at these hearings and whatnot, and after looking at the fact that if you go to the average black woman right in the street right now, and if you even look like you might be against this nominee for the Supreme Court, she's gonna haul off and knock you upside the head. You know, she's gonna get out your car. If you could be sitting in your car saying, "Man, I fuck Kennedy Jackson or whatnot," she'll pull over the side of the road and whatnot and chase you down and whatnot. You know, that's how serious it is. You know, that's how serious it is. But the whole thing is this. It does not matter as long as Joe Biden's in office, right? They're not gonna say nothing, right? Why? Because it might embarrass him. What this tells me right here that we haven't learned a damn thing. Black people, we didn't get nothing out of Joe Biden. No, you're not gonna get anything, right? They know that. So the bottom line is this: black people are gonna march to the polls this November in large numbers. Black people are gonna march to the polls for the Democrats in 2024. Not a damn thing has changed. Everything. Why? Because we don't have real media out there saying what the hell are we doing. You know, the media, and also, like I said, the average black person is apathetic. And what happened was, like I was saying earlier, the black people were bullied to the polls. You were bullied into voting against your own interests. You were bullied to go out there and vote, even though you say, "Well, I don't really care. You know, it doesn't really affect me." You were made to believe that you had to put Joe Biden in office. And once he gets in office, he gave you Juneteenth, day holiday, right? And he says he's going to put the first black woman on the Supreme Court, not who's qualified. It's time for a black woman on the Supreme Court. Now, here, let's look at the so-called black woman on the Supreme Court. Let's look at this. Now, I used to believe, right, that people got in their position based on their merits. I no longer believe that. She voted against the black employees at Lockheed Martin. Okay, she voted against that. But none of the black news outlets are saying, wait a minute, this lady clearly a class action suit, right? That she could have friggin' went either way. She chose to side with Lockheed Martin. Why? Because the powers that's pushing her along. She's ambitious. This lady's ambitious. She's going up the ladder. She's been only a federal judge for 2 years, and made some bad rulings. And then when you question her about those rulings, all right, you're seen as a racist. Why are you talking about? She's impeccably credentialed. Look, so are so many other people who are they like that. Well, she's qualified. Sure, she's qualified. She's qualified to be a judge. You know who says it's qualified? The U.S. Senate decides if she's qualified. That's what the job of the U.S. Senate is, to vet her if she's qualified. You could be somebody, a first-year law clerk. If the senators say you want to be on the Supreme Court, you got what it takes. Guess what? You're there. You can have all the impeccable record. If they say no, like Judge Bork in 1987, he was impeccable. His record was impeccable. But they smeared him with racism charges, or he didn't do anything, or he's too conservative, whatever, and stuff like that. He never got on the Supreme Court. So the bottom line is this. And then with Clarence Thomas, he wasn't really qualified to be on the Supreme Court. He has never had an opinion his whole time on the bench. He's never had an opinion. He never ruled on anything. He just went away with what's his name, Alito, the other guy, the Italian guy. He went along with him and those other people in his opinion. He never had an opinion of himself. He wasn't qualified to be on the Supreme Court. And so, but he got pushed along. So it doesn't matter. So what it tells me is, if they want you on the Supreme Court, right? If there's enough senators like you and everything, you're going to be confirmed. So the bottom line is this: it's not about whether she's qualified or not, because she's clearly more qualified than Clarence Thomas was, right? And so therefore, yes, she has the ability to get up there. The question is, people are asked, okay, you're going to make decisions that's going to affect the very core of the civilization that America calls itself. If you say that you cannot define what a woman is, right, then you could alter the very basics of a society. And so therefore, when you say you shouldn't question her, and I'm saying to myself, you see black people like, oh, just confirm her, she's going to be good. Well, let's just ask some questions. Okay, let's go. But you tell me we can't ask a basic question. Why did she rule against those black employees at Lockheed Martin? So this is the reason why we don't have real black journalists in America. We don't have.
Here's one, Colin. She was asked, define what a woman is, or what is a woman? She said she didn't know. She's not a biologist.
I can't answer that question. Why? Because the people that's pushing her along are the same people that got us Barack Obama, the LGBTQ. And so the whole thing, since they can't really change what's coming down the line, if they rule that if a man by law, but the Supreme Court, because this case is going to go to the Supreme Court, all this transgender stuff, and the bottom line is they're betting that if she's on the bench, right, they could tip it towards this insane notion that a man can one day decide that he wants to be a woman, right? That means put him in a female prison. That means give him all the rights that women are entitled to and everything. It could alter the whole friggin' existence of the society, but people are not thinking about that. You're thinking about emotion, just the same way we went out and voted for Joe Biden. Emotion. And you're getting what you're paying for. I don't feel sorry for you one bit. Those of you who can't afford the high gas prices, you got to take that. You got to hold that L. You got to take it like a man, take it like a woman. Like, this is what you voted for. This country is spiraling out of control. The immorality, the crime, everything is getting worse and worse. This is so sick that a district attorney who's supposed to be the protector of the civilization is letting murderers back on the street with no bail. This is the insanity we're having. So you ask these people, who are these so-called black people? They're obviously not dying as anybody you and I talk to, because no sane black person is going for this. Who's the most victim of these crimes? Black people. So basically what it is like you got black people trapped in inner city war zones, murders. And also, did you hear about the thing with Kid Creole? You heard about that case?
Who's that? Who's that?
Before your time, from the Grandmaster Flash Furious 5, Kid Creole, light-skinned dude. Kid Creole. He stabbed a man in self-defense in New York City, right? Look it up, thanks. He stabbed a man in self-defense, right? He's being on charge with murder. And so bottom line is this. Now, here's a guy.
When did he stab a man? When?
This has happened recently, right? He's going on trial. He's on trial now. It must have happened like a year ago, I believe. He stabbed a man that came after him, homeless man that was attacking him. He stabbed Kid Creole was a small guy, And I'll say, so he stabbed the guy in self-defense, right? I think it was a butcher blade. But somebody said, well, he should have had a switchblade. Didn't matter. He was protecting himself, And Kid Creole said, I was defending myself, right? And so the bottom line is because he's a black man and everything like that, and because he's defending himself, they're going to make an example of him. Now, had he been attacked and killed, right, by a homeless man, the homeless man would have been out on bail, right? They would have gave him money.
Right.
They would have made him a hero and everything. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. The average black person who's law-abiding, minding his business, does not have a prayer in America. And the bottom line is they're letting these people destroy us and kill us and everything in our own community and everything. And we dare fight back. So black people say, I'm a conceal. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm like this. If you have a concealed weapon and you shoot somebody, I would say like this: make sure you can get out of the country as soon as possible. Get to Canada, get the hell out. Because the bottom line is this: self-defense does not apply to the black man and woman in America. Remember that girl a couple of years ago in Florida? She just fired a warning shot, and they tried to put her in jail for 25 years.
They tried to lock her up for years.
Yeah, in the same state of Florida, they got a stand your ground law, right? A black man, a Army veteran, right, fired a warning shot. They gave him 25 years.
I think they ended up letting her out, though, I think.
Yeah, they let her out after all the media firestorm, and they still try to put her back in jail. And then there was another black man who, that same situation, right, guns flying, everything. He fired a warning shot, right, and they gave him 25 years. So the bottom line is this. This is what's happening in America. We think that we're ordinary citizens. And everything. This is what news journalism and stuff like that need to be talking about. But because it wasn't a police shooting, it's not worth covering. If it's not nothing that's going to rile you up to get you to go out there and vote, it's not worth covering. So the bottom line is what you have is we always say that the news pundits are political hacks, right? Black political pundits start off as political hacks, and they end up as political hacks. They're not there doing journalism saying, okay, let's talk about the situation. They don't care about that. It's all about politicizing an event and everything like that to get your emotions. And the bottom line is this: that may sound good, but get this, it doesn't give you no ratings.
Right, guys. Links in the chat room again. Link is in the chat room. Also, call in. Oh, please call in again. Links in the chat room. Please call in. Also, hit that like button, guys. Please hit the like button. But if you'd like to call in, please click on that link. Links in the chat room, and please hit that like button. All right, go ahead, Colin.
Okay. Now, like I said, for 2 years, right? I've been trying to find a Black News Network, right? And I even Googled it. I couldn't find it even on Google. And now that it went out of business, right? Now I got it, right? I'm saying to myself, do they got a YouTube channel? Did they put the stuff on YouTube? Do they got a Twitter page? I looked at Twitter. They didn't have a Twitter account.
I'm sure they do. They got a YouTube page. They have a YouTube page.
No, I swear to God, Dynasty. I swear to God,
they got a YouTube page. They got a YouTube page, Colin. They have a YouTube page.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe must have just put it up. When I was looking,
Colin, they have a YouTube. I know for a fact they have a YouTube page. I know that for a fact.
Black News Channel. News Channel. Okay, BBC News. Okay.
Hey, y'all! Shout out to Sardo Noopsa in the chat room from Golden Child. Shout out to Sardo Noopsa from Golden Child in the chat room. Shout out to you. Thank you for joining.
Okay, they have a Black News Channel. Okay, I did 137,000 subscribers. That is only 20-something thousand subscribers under you.
Mm-hmm.
And they invested they got initial investment was $50 million. This is what I'm talking about. $50 million investment. They could not meet payroll. This last payroll. Advertising.
Yeah, because Mark Lamont Hill was on Twitter saying that people ain't getting paid.
Yeah, and so this goes to the thing. There's two things that Black people cannot seem like we can't do in America is a news network, right, and banking. Two things.
You know what we could do, Colin? I'll put out a CD tomorrow. I shot Colin in the face, shot his mama so dope, so crack on the corner, rolled up on collar, pulled up in his hood, shot his house up, shot it all up. Did I smoke some weed right in front of his house, spit on his body? We can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, so you'll blow up overnight. You get 10 million views.
Overnight. Hey, if I put out a mix CD, I was shooting everybody in the hood and killing everybody. I'll be a millionaire tomorrow. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, the bottom line, that's what it is. So my whole thing is this: what negativity sells. Negativity sells. Okay. Now, what I'm saying is, even though negativity sells, right? There was a myth, right, years ago.
Hey, Colin, hold on. Shout out to CJM. Then after I shot Colin, I pulled off in a foreign. Blinging, blam, blam, bling, gold chain in the Rolex watch. I pulled off in a foreign with a foreign.
It's
Colin, like you said, Colin, deadly clowns.
Yeah,
you know what sells in the community, Colin? Deadly clownism. That's what's
like I said, I have a lot of talent, right? A lot of hidden talents, right? I do it on my radio show, right? I put this out there, right? If somebody ever want to make a skits and stuff like that, contact me. I got a lot of ideas that could get a lot of views and have people freaking rolling. I would love to put my deadly clown skit, where it's like a going around the hood, right? Interviewing deadly clowns. They don't know they're being deadly clowns, but deadly clowns.
They already got that. If fat white folks is doing it, they got the cat in LA.
Yeah, but I want to
do. Y'all listen. So we pulled up to so and so hood in LA. Crip hood. Crip hood.
But I want to.
Y'all camera. Yeah, dead body. Somebody got shot last night. Right in front of my house. Hey, every night, shooting every night. Hey, so you hear them gunshots right now? You hear them gunshots right now?
Yeah.
Gunshots right now. You late.
Check us out. The hood vlogs right there, the hood news gets more views than all these friggin' news networks. That's a shame. One video, the guy's like 100 million views. And the bottom line, I'm saying,
hey, Colin, hey, you hear the helicopter in the sky? See, somebody just got shot yesterday. You hear the helicopter in the sky? Somebody got shot yesterday.
And you got dudes 50 years old saying, yeah, man, that was a spot right there. And I'm saying to myself,
that's a spot, man. Shit, man. Back in the day, I used to bang. Hey, Colin, back in the day, I used to sell crack right there on that corner, man. That was a spot.
Yeah, man. I'm saying the bottom line, I was like, yo, I said the kids around them are looking like their grandkids when they're still out there talking about, this is the hood, this is the spot, this is home sweet home one night. You live in the projects in Brooklyn one night. Nigga, please. What's this guy saying?
Hold on. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you?
Doing good. How you doing?
But my question to you with the BNC channel, I think our perspective is global now. Why doesn't somebody launch like a diaspora? I know Phil and the African Diaspora channel.
Michelle, I disagree. The majority of Black people aren't thinking global. They thinking Stacey Abrams, Georgia, Atlanta, vote blue.
But the world is global. Look how they're pushing Ukraine on us every day.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because the white media is pushing that on them. Now, when the white media thinks global and pushes that on us, that's what they do.
We're not allowed to think globally on our own. That's the whole thing. That's why I'm glad Phil Scott is doing what he's doing. Hopefully he has a branch over in and he said something about they're trying to shut his stuff down with, I don't know, whatever. But he's trying to open up a really outlet and say that would be a game changer. We can get into regular broadcasts on the continent, throughout the continent and stuff like that. That would be a freaking game changer. Because I'm telling you right now, more and more Black people, right, are curious, right? Even though so I'm saying we're like this. When people like me, I started on global, think about global, but back in the days when Emerge magazine had African issues on the front cover. That's when I said to myself, then that became my magazine of choice, man. I said, look, man, I know Jesse having the 88 presidential elections and talking about that inside of America is okay. But when somebody's making talking about something else and going on in Kenya, I want to know about that. I want to know that. Emerge magazine covered the war in Somalia really well. They covered the war in Somalia. And I learned a lot of things about that conflict from the Emerge magazine, how Somalians were being racist towards African Americans, how U.S. military was telling Somalis how they're not Black people in America. You're going over there putting your life on the line for this country, right? And that's when Al-Qaeda shot down the Black Hawk helicopters and everything. The Black soldiers were over there, and the Somalis were calling them niggers and monkeys and stuff like that, Emerge magazine reported on that. We would never have known that. if it wasn't for Emerge magazine. So this idea of a global thing, black people were like, okay, I'm learning something here. But right now, the people who's backing us, right, the people who want to put out black news, right, it's not really black news, it's black Democrat news, black liberal news. That's all it is. You know, there's no such thing as a black news perspective, because if it was black, it would be talking about issues we talk about and you hear every day. There's bloody issues. There's a lot of issues in our community. You know, we talk about things like colorism, gender wars, gender stuff like that. You know, the LGBTQ, all these debates that go on back and forth in Black America, right? That black people talk about. You know, education, public school. First of all, why are we paying these public school teachers, right, all this money, and they're not educating our children? You know, and stuff like that. These are things black people talk about every day. You know, why is it that there's so much crime in our communities and everything like that? You know. And so, therefore, you're not allowed to talk about something. You're only allowed to talk about what they tell you to talk about. And for the last 4 or 5 years, it was the orange man bad, you know, Democrats good. You know, that's all you need to know. You know, I can sit there and you can go into a group on Facebook and everything like that. You know, you have the different groups you go into and everything. One of the groups I like was the soul food group. You know, oh, yeah, people talk about the soul food representative. Somebody's in there talking about, yeah, we got to get rid of the orange. I'm like, dude, this is a safe space where we can talk about different cuisines. And you're sitting there talking about the orange man, you know? And so you know what, Michelle, you know what I'm talking about, you know?
I work in DC and I work in human services. Yes. So there is a big Democratic push. But what concerns me, like you said, the Democrats really don't have our interests 100%. And I see it. I see it in healthcare. I see it in so many aspects of our day-to-day life. Black people out here struggling. Affordable housing. We can't get affordable housing.
$300,000.
Hold on. Michelle, housing in Atlanta is out of the Black Mecca is out of control.
When I was growing up, a lot of my friends moved to Atlanta because it was so expensive here in DC and New York. But now,
back in the day, those days are over. So back in the day, those, you know, I'm gonna go to Atlanta. You know, I'm gonna change my life and, you know, reinvent myself in Atlanta. Those days are over.
We're getting priced out of everything, you know. And so how J Mall, I don't believe this, man. I don't believe J Mall. My right-hand man is on the line. I don't believe this, man. I don't believe this. Jamal, I mean, you got to give this guy a round of applause. J-Mall coming out of the
I don't know. Jamal, you there? Can you hear Jamal? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he texted Kyle. All right, go ahead, Michelle. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. But my question to you, as I said in another program, where is the discussion on our survival as a people? That's the biggest elephant in the room. What is our survival plan?
Michelle, I told you our survival plan is I'm in Atlanta. Get Stacey Abrams in office. Get Stacey. That's a survival plan. Get Stacey Abrams in office. So the first, step number one of the survival plan was get rid of the orange man. Step number 2 is get Stacey Abrams. So we good. We're gonna live. We're gonna be eternal. We're gonna be eternal, ethereal beings once we get Stacey Abrams in office. That's the survival plan.
And get this.
But the issue is, like, for example, a lot of people aren't able to maintain, like DC, areas of Prince George, even Virginia. We're losing as soon as the matriarch or a patriarch dies, the families scatter. We're done. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. The only time we see each other is at a funeral.
Yep. Families don't come together anymore. All right. I'm waiting for somebody to die in my family so I can see my cousins and their relatives again. You know, we don't see each other. You know, they're in New York, I'm here, and everything like that. We always say, yeah, y'all got to come down. 3 years passed by. I'm like, we don't see each other unless there's somebody passed away. My cousin Donald died 2 years ago. Last time I see my family in New York. You know, it's the whole thing is we're falling apart. You know. And then we have this farce they put on us as a so-called the real black family is falling apart. And then what they show us is they got plenty of these love and hip hop shows and these all these shows, these reality shows, showing black dysfunctional behavior and everything. That's pushing on our community left and right and everything. We don't know who we are anymore. You know, we don't know that. We used to have, back in the days, we had the UPN, we had all these stuff like catered to us and everything. We felt good about being black in America and stuff like that, you know. But right now, the YouTube is our own version of UPN. You know, we get to be ourselves and stuff like that. You know, we get to talk thing. Now we don't. When you look at television and stuff like that, you don't see yourself. These people don't speak for us. They don't speak for black people. You know, they pretend to speak for black people because the only thing they have in common with us when we talk about race. Everybody don't like when somebody gets killed by the police, but there's some more issues than racism and police brutality. You know, there's more issues. You know, we want. You know, what do we value? You know, all the stuff that we used to treasure and value and stuff, and that's why we go to these vintage sites and everything. Man, how black people are attracted to the way things used to be in Black America. You know, it was a time where we had some sort of black love among ourselves. We knew who we were as a people. You know, and now it's like everybody's out for themselves. Everybody's out for their money. Everybody's out for a thing and everything. And then, okay, that's fine. But then at the same time, we ask you, okay, what about our news and issues and everything? They don't want to do that. They want to do that. They want to basically carry water for whether the Republicans or the Democrats or all stuff like this that don't speak for us. We don't have any allegiance to any political party. What about our own political party? Why don't we have our own political party? We're 45 freaking million people. Why don't we have our own political party? Why don't we basically take over one of these political parties? Why don't we be the deciding vote in both parties? You know, it's the bottom line. When you start thinking like that, they scare you. You better vote this because they're gonna boogie. I say also we could also say, you know something? Let's let it happen. Well, I say, look. As long as they keep scaring us into submission, that's what it is. I can see, not disrespect to our sisters, I can see women thinking like that, but I can't see grown men being terrified and frightened into voting a certain way. You know, it's like if there's nothing on the table, we're gonna stay home. How about that? Well, you better go because the Orange Man and the Republicans, the Proud Boys, and all stuff like that. I'm like, and you know, I'm more afraid of the Bloods and the Crips than I am the Proud Boys. You know. If you had a choice to deal with one of the two, Diane, what would you rather deal with on a daily basis? The Blood, the Crips, or the Proud Boys? You know,
Proud Boys.
Oh, I'd rather deal with the Ku Klux Klan and Nazis than deal with the Bloods and the Crips. You know, so who the heck are we afraid of? We have nothing to lose. We haven't figured that out yet. We have nothing to lose.
But also, Michael, so even when you talk about Blood and Crips, the demographics of Blood and Crips are becoming more Hispanic here in the Washington D.C. area.
Yeah. It's not even black anymore. It's like white people. They got white boys joining the Bloods and the Crips. And it's like a whole.
So you think that we culturally?
Hey, Khaled, I'm sorry to interrupt, Michelle. Did you hear the story about the white boy in L.A. stayed in Rancho Palos Verdes?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Decided he wanted to become a Crip. Listen, was going on drive-bys with Crip members.
Yep.
Was the accessory to a murder. They let him go, but
he was a ringleader. He was a ringleader. And he was a ringleader, you know. When you got white boys who join gangs, they're like true believers. I've seen it. They on some shit. Like Chris Rock said, when they are bad, they are bad. You know, Bloods be like, yeah, I'm a Blood and Crip, but it ain't all that serious, you know. White boy, yo, man, I read, you know, you saw that with Banging in Little Rock. When white boys get into that shit, they become true believers. They're trying to prove something. You know, they are true believers. I mean, they be like, your brothers be like, damn, man, I thought that when you got a white boy that's thugged out like that, man, they're worse than anything you ever seen in your freaking life. They become leaders of the shit, you know. They be like, you know, they take it to a whole new level. And so the bottom line, it's not even about race no more. Just like we have the degeneracy in our culture and everything like that. But that's the trade-off, right? We wanted to be Americans and everything, but you know, and there's a lot of sadness in Black America right now. You know, every time we see a little girl getting killed or a drive-by shooting and stuff like that, you know, there's sadness and powerless. It was the same powerless that we felt like when those the four girls got killed in Birmingham. You know, we felt powerless. We can't do nothing about it.
No, Carla, it's different. Like now when a 7-year-old or a young child gets killed in a drive-by shooting in the community, nobody cares.
Because cares. It's powerless. You know why? They care, but if you care, all you're gonna do is make yourself miserable. Like I said, you ever heard the lamb to the slaughter? People think the lamb doesn't know it's gonna be slaughtered. They know, they can see that some lamb go in the thing and never come back, but they know their fate is sealed, so they don't do nothing about it. There's silence. The silence of the lambs, you know, and they just let it happen. You know, it's inevitable. It's let it happen. That's what Black people at a point in time. We're at that point of civilization where anything can happen to us, right? They can. I mean, people thought COVID-19. Like if there's some new disease that comes out and we start dropping by the millions, we'll just sit back and be like, whatever. That's how defeated we are. You know, we're completely defeated. Now, if we did have our own media and stuff like that, we'd start picking our spirits up again. But they don't want it like that because they only want it when it serves them. It's we're going to vote a certain way or the political wins that they decide. If they decide that we're going to do a certain thing, then that's happening. But no media outlet, right, serves black people's interests. You know, that says this is what we are. Because before you do that, you got to have a grassroots consensus. What are people talking about in their day-to-day life? Nobody understands. Back in the days, right, when they first started hiring black journalists, right, white newspapers started hiring black journalists, right, one thing they wanted to do was they wanted to hire black journalists to get a black perspective. You know, what is Jamal doing? What's going on?
I have no clue. I have no clue what he's doing. But guys, if you want to call in, links in the chat room. Again, links in the chat room. Click on that link. Links in the chat room. Let me press the link in the chat room again one more time. And guys, I'm gonna order a new mic. I can't control the volume on this, so if it's too loud, I apologize when I talk loud. I'm gonna get another one. These mics are tricky. So, all right, guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in, click on the link. Or go ahead, Colin.
Okay, so leading back to the topic of the show tonight is like the Black News Network. Like I said, I knew this was going to happen when I first saw the thing come out. Right, they're in Tallahassee, Florida. Right, I don't know the racial demographic of Tallahassee. Right, but there's a reason why they put in Tallahassee rather than Atlanta. Right, because there's too many black folks in Atlanta. You know, and so therefore they could have put it in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina would have been an excellent place for that. You got a little middle class there, okay, and stuff like that. It would have worked if it was Charlotte. And then they don't really have any really grassroots. You know, they don't have any connection to the grassroots, and they underestimate the fact that if you can't look at somebody like Phil Scott and look at the amount of ratings the topics he talk about and stuff like that concerning Africa and stuff he talks about, and basically say that's not news. It is news. We talk about black crime in Black America. We talk about Pan-Africanism and also the ADOS FBA movement, right? That's a legitimate topic. Unfortunately, because it's not talked about in the broad sense in Black America, right? These other people like Yvette Carnell and all are able to exploit that with hate, you know, and that's not who we are. We have to tell the world, right? We have to tell the world when you have a news outlet, we have Facebook groups and everything like that, right? But when you're news, that's authoritarian. That's more authoritative. Authoritative.
All right. So, hold on, Michelle. You have anything else you want to share, Michelle?
Yes, another thing about the BNC News Channel or anything. A reason why I like your show.
Anything. Go ahead. Anything. Go ahead.
Like your show, you're about bringing us together. You know, because I work in an urban environment, so coming into to this circle here and really talking about our views is like it's therapeutic for me, honestly, because I cannot talk about this on my job. I see things going on my job, you know, every day. Like I said, with the family dysfunction, but they don't care. We use these standardized checklists to check everybody off, but nobody's really seeing the root of the problem. And I'm seeing the slow destruction of my people, and it pains and hurts because I see it. And I see it day to day. And coming into your circle, when I see you trying to heal our people, actually, Mr. Prince, taking someone out of their environment to travel, to talk, is a form of healing. And the society tries to impose these therapeutic modalities on us, and it's not working because of nobody wants to recognize our history. Nobody wants to recognize our trauma. Nobody wants to see us per se. So again, I really hope, you know, and the thing about the BNC channel, I noticed when it comes to certain topics, like for me, when they had a topic on abortion, like saying Black women want abortion, but you don't know what happened, what leads to a young girl or a young woman that wants to get an abortion. Because honestly, because I work with these young ladies, they don't want to get it, but their circumstances put them in that position. And they don't have the so-called women's group of the feminists don't want to have a discussion. They say, well, you need some freedom choices. You need your rights. Yes, we need our rights, but we need money too. You know, if mama hadn't had to work 16 hours she wouldn't be sneaking off, going run off with little Tyrone and having sex.
Mhm.
Okay, nobody wants to talk about those issues.
Yeah.
Oh, why her daddy's not at home, so she doesn't feel the need to run off to Tyrone and have sex.
Right.
Feminists don't even want to talk about these issues.
Right. Sister, you are absolutely 100% right. Because the bottom line is this. That's why I'm careful when I talk about our sisters and everything, because I don't know what it's like to be a black woman. And I know a lot of our sisters are going through this, and I'm not going to judge them, you know. We have a fatherless world. And I could just imagine what a young girl goes through. The one person that's supposed to be there for her, daddy, is not there. And then grown men. Another thing we don't talk about in our community: how many of our girls are molested, you know, and stuff like this. You know, nobody wants to talk about it.
And boys too, children,
and boys too. And they basically, this issue is swept under the rug. Why kids are angry? Why they're killing and murdering? You know, because
that's why
boys.
I'm so upset with this LGBTQT stuff that they're pushing on us that we got to accept in the schools. I'm pissed because you're not talking about it from a black perspective. Because many of the kids I work with,
right,
have been exposed to some type of sexual trauma, and you don't want to talk. Oh, they're LGBTQ. Let them express themselves. You know.
Yeah, but Michelle, I think the problem is, well, here we go. You brought up a great point, but when you bring up the connection between trauma and children going LGBTQ, they'll look at it, they'll demonize you for even
exactly. But I'm seeing a close correlation. I was working with a young lady, about 11 or 12. Mom and dad had they were never married, but they have a strenuous relationship. And so she's looking for love and attention. So a girl steps to her. So now she wants to date a girl. Now the parents are up in armor. But you understand, she's 11, 12 years old. She's at the age where she needs attention and she's seeking love. A lot of boys in our community, 11, 12 years old or that realm, they're just not there.
Right.
And now you have this LGBTQ big push coming through. And she's 11, 12, she's looking for affection. And she's definitely not getting at home. And this little girl wants to give it to her. Another little, it's deep. It's deep.
Guys, make sure you hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. I'm gonna read the super chat. B-Rack, thank you for the super chat. Do you think the Great Reset was modeled after what they did to black folks? Have nothing and be happy, just like the Holocaust was based on black folks in America. You want to address that, and then we'll pass it to Brandon. Go ahead, Colin.
Yeah. So what she says is absolutely right. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? This idea of we like I said, if we had real leaders and speaker for us and everything like that, we would be going through this. It used to be a time where we knew wrong from right, the truth of wrong from right? And so therefore, when we see kids being sexualized as young as 3 years old, boys molesting girls, boys molesting other boys and stuff like that, and they turn out LGBTQ, we tell them they want to express themselves, and we say, look, we're going to get you straight. Why? Because we want you to become a productive young man and build families one day. Oh, that's patriarchal. That's so out of step. But that's what built Black America. The strongest, when we had strong patriarchal families, mom and dad and everything, Black America wasn't going through what we're going through right now. We used to be strong. We used to be the role model for other immigrants that came here and everything. What the hell changed? And so therefore, when we say we want to stop all this nonsense, people are like, no, we are here to push everybody else's agenda. We're here to push the open borders agenda. We're here to push the LGBTQ. Now you have this guy, Tia, whatever his name is, a swimmer, right? Being compared to Jackie Robinson.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
See, this is what we talk about on this platform, being compared to, and we can't say nothing about it. Why? Because you're gonna be discriminated against. You're gonna be race. How's that race? That's not race. You're gonna be how would they call it? Transphobic. So the bottom line is we entered the mainstream, right? They wouldn't, a generation ago, they wouldn't have dared came to us with this nonsense. But we're so mainstream and everything like that. And when these news pundits and everything get on there, they don't want to mess up that paycheck. You get up there and everything like, let me ask you a question. What's that dude, Eugene Robinson? Does he look like somebody that really wants to say what's on his mind? No. You ever see him talk? He's like, every word that comes out of his mouth is carefully crafted, Why? because he knows his paycheck or his future paycheck is on the line. And so the bottom line is he gets up and says what they want him to say. If you can't say that it's wrong for a man to put on, say he's a woman and go into swimming sports and everything, then I'm sorry. And then you tell me one so-called black person in the mainstream who started this, that dude Michael Eric Dyson. Where did he come from? We don't know. He was at Georgetown. He came out of nowhere, and they kept putting him on there and everything. And like, okay, he's a black leader. He has no constituency, no following or anything. He just came out of nowhere. And they put him on these talk shows and everything. And you see enough of them. And because they browbeat us and everything into submission, you can't say nothing because he's on the thing. Like Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton don't speak for the majority of black people.
Right.
But because he's on MSNBC, you forced to accept him. And he's the number one ringleader of all this nonsense.
We got to go ahead, Brandon. Guys, hit the like button. Again, please hit the like button. Go ahead and mute yourself, Brandon. Brandon.
Is he still there?
Yeah, I guess he's busy. All right, Dolly Tace. Go ahead, Dolly Tace.
Hello. I just want to add a little something about what he said about patriarchal system being good for the black community. I don't agree with that. You guys don't know what black women went through while you thought the black family was so great. Like, we have one country in Africa, I don't know the name, I forgot it. I think it's in Kenya or Zambia or something, where black women had to make a village where it say no to men. Like, men cannot enter in that village because they feel so, like, they went through so much trauma. And
Dolly, how's it working out? Okay, the black matriarchal community.
It's not this is the point. They went out there for survival, okay? So the thing is, the goal is to make it work together. The problem starts when you guys think women, first of all, you deny women being a full human being by saying, oh, men are
That's a lie. That's a lie.
This is what I'm talking. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Miss Dolly,
yes, you're doing it.
No,
you're doing it.
Miss Dolly, can I talk to you, please?
Hold on, please, lady, please. Before me being a woman and you being a man, we are both human beings. Before anything else. So when you come here saying, oh, like, this is not right, and I'm from Africa, and I'm talking. I came here at 18, and you don't know, like, why is Africa don't like win? Will over there they have no resistance from women. They have, like, women don't have almost don't have no rights. Why they don't make it? Why they don't make it? Why?
Miss Dolly, may I please respond?
So this is not an answer. I just want to mention that it's not an answer. Like, stop. I don't know how I'm gonna say, like stop putting all the problems on women, saying feminist is this and that. I don't
Miss Dolly, it is.
Agree
yes,
with.
I tell you right now, feminism is bullshit. I mean, I'm not gonna be gay about it. Feminism is bullshit.
That is you.
And
again,
Dolly, like, feminism is bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And the thing is, Dolly, this you gotta understand, Dolly. These white women put this feminist battery in black women's back, right?
White women, I don't care about them. I'm talking from coming to Africa and what I saw. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. I've been in many countries. I've been in countries like, I'm gonna take one example in Senegal, where men are allowed over there to have 4 wives. Like, they have no resistance from.
No. It's called Islam. No, Dolly, it's called Islam. It's not Senegal. It's called Islam.
Over there's no feminism. There's nothing.
Yeah, good, great, good. I'm happy there's no feminism over there. Great.
The feminism would destroy. Yes, Ms. Dolly, because of external problems in Africa, our relationship with our men have been so strained in terms of resources, in terms of our political. We have been so strained through colonialism and stress and slavery. Now that in this modern times, now we're butting heads with each other. But it's up to us as women of our community to see what's going on and say, okay, hold up, wait a minute.
No, it's not up to us. I don't agree. I don't. Like you guys are talking like you talking like
You
you're talking
talking
to this
crazy. You talking
man.
crazy.
I'm
You
not
talking crazy,
talking
darling.
crazy. You are
I
talking
love
crazy.
black
You
people.
cannot say,
I love
oh,
black people. I
it's up
understand that
to
God made men and
us.
women for a reason. You crazy, darling. You crazy,
Oh
darling.
yeah, I'm crazy. You think so? You are crazy. You
Yeah,
talking like you're
I'm
talking to
crazy and I love
Well,
babies.
black
Dolly,
Are
listen,
not babies. They are
Dolly,
full
listen,
human
Dolly,
beings.
listen,
They are
listen,
grown
Dolly,
men.
let's keep it
It's
simple,
not
Dolly,
up to us. And this is
Dolly,
why
let's
this
keep it simple,
community is
Dolly,
shifting
hold on,
because
Dolly,
you
you're not gonna
talking
talk
to
over
men
me,
like they are
Dolly, you're not gonna
babies.
talk over me, Dolly, you're not gonna talk over me. Let's just do this. Let's keep it simple.
Because I'm answering to her. I
No, but
didn't.
Dolly, I'm about to tell you what to do,
You don't
Dolly.
need to answer
Listen,
to me. I
Dolly,
wish you would just go away because you're the reason why
one
we as
second,
black people are going
Michelle,
to fail.
hold on, Michelle, hold on, Dolly. I'm
Oh
gonna keep it
yeah,
simple.
I'm the reason.
Dolly, I'm gonna
You
keep it
are
simple.
actually the reason why we
No, I
No,
work with
okay,
my community and I see
I'm gonna meet both
and I
you guys.
see what
I'm gonna meet both you guys. We're gonna keep this simple, Dolly. Like we're gonna keep it simple. Go and separate. Go build your own feminist community. Like let's not overcomplicate it, Dolly. Like go and build you, Jamil Hill, Angela Rye, all you guys just go separate and build your own
Dinah,
feminist.
this is now you see what the problem is, right? Now you see what the problem is. They came in our community, right? We were doing all right, right? We're doing all right. And they came and separated men from women with the feminism and everything like that and everything. Everybody got their own divergent agendas and everything like that, right? And then when she said something about patriarchy is wrong, we're not saying patriarchy. First of all, if you look at the black family, right? We have strong women and strong men. The women would just eat the husband and father was equal in the household and whatnot. The man was a breadwinner, the woman was a nurturer, and everything like that. We had strong families that created dynasties in America, right? That's all gone because somebody told the black woman and that she don't need a man.
Oh my
And
god.
she don't need a man.
Oh my
That's the
god.
truth.
Hold on, but Dolly, but again, like I said, Dolly, like you said one of the points you brought up was in Senegal, which has nothing to do with Senegal, is Islam. A man can have four wives. Dolly, if you
It
weren't for
We
is
never
like
had
Dolly, if
that.
you
that.
weren't
We never.
But
Dolly, hold
can
on,
I
Dolly,
express
listen.
myself?
Dolly, you're not gonna talk over me, Dolly. You're not gonna talk
Okay.
over me.
All
Listen,
right.
go and get 4 cuckolds, 4 husbands, and be done with it. I mean, like, listen.
But
That's all I
again,
don't
I
understand.
came
Like, I give
here
you a
to
prime example. I
express
don't go to other
myself,
people's
and
circles.
you
Like,
you
I don't go to
misunderstanding
feminist.
me,
No,
and
but
you
no, I'm just
putting
telling you.
word in my mouth. That's
Dolly,
not what
go
I
and
say.
separate. It's nothing to talk about. It's nothing to talk
I'm
about. Like, it's
pointing the fact that
non-negotiable.
there is community where women
No,
are
I don't want you, I don't
all
want you
you
part of the
want,
community,
and you
Dolly.
still
Dolly,
fell
go
there. You
and
still
be
fell
a
there. Why are
feminist.
you failing
Go
to
and be
this
a feminist.
community? That's my question.
Dolly, go to Kenya with the women community. Go join it. Go join it, Dolly. Go
Yeah.
join it.
you let her go.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Thank you for letting her go.
Go ahead. She hung up, but go ahead, Michelle. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead,
good.
Michelle.
What people like Dolly and her mentality scare me because they don't quite understand. They don't see the bigger picture. They understand in this system in life we live, we need balance, and that's why God created man and women. I'm not trying to get into spiritual, philosophical stuff, but that's the main balance. When we have external conquerors coming in, they intruded our balance. They destroyed our balance. And after we were able to have, for men were able to have more than one wife because there was balance, checks and balances with our community with that system. Here, if a man takes 2 wives, is an issue because number one, like I said, resources are so limited. So we're going to be fighting over resources. Where we were back in the mother continent, the grass is vast. I have my own place. The other wife has her own place. I'm good because guess what? My husband's not going to try and get on top of me every night. So I'm good. I got my space. I mean, let's be real.
Oh, that's what it is too, man. You can do it tonight when not, you take care.
I don't have to worry about catching no chlamydia from, you guys. I don't have to worry about catching chlamydia. She's. I don't, because like I work in the urban community. We have to worry about STIs. We have to worry about so many things. But when we were in our space, as a woman, I had more rights in terms of I have rights to my land. I have rights to my children. I mean, tell you the truth, honestly, polygamy is actually, if it was practiced right, it actually benefits the woman. If it's really practiced right.
I'm not a polygamist or nothing like that. In my fantasy, I am, but I'm not a polygamist or anything. But the bottom way, one wife is enough for me, man. Check us out. In Eritrea, right? There's such a shortage of men, and there's one country in Southern Africa, I forgot the name, where the president ordered men to marry at least 5 women or be arrested. You know, like men of men, you got to marry, you got to take on more wives because of women. There's not a husband. So in other words, everyone except for America recognize the importance of having a provider, a breadwinner, right? This is what happens when men aren't providing, right? And when we have providers in our community, right? They're in the clubs every night, right?
Sexualized.
They're in the club, they're spending all their money and it's doing all this kind of stupid stuff, buying rims. Remember Chris Rock? They're spending, they spending. Hey, what the
rim do? The spree wells.
Yo, come on, man. Buy some rims, nigga. They spending, they spending. Anyway, and the bottom line is, instead of buying rims and all this stuff like this, instead of putting a house, right, taking the kids to Little League field, when they're taking your wife out to dinner, doing manly things, you would have tranquil, peaceful communities once again. But no, you take the man out of the house, right? You just got to be a bachelor and you got your boys over and everything like that, you know, till you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. Women raise her kid thing. You're paying child support, so you're paying for 2 houses, right? And instead of you being in one house, let's get that together. Don't have kids, women that you don't want to be with. We get back to the fact that, okay, we're gonna have a kid together, we're gonna be together. If 80% of us can do that, you'll see the crime and everything in Black America in 10 years disappear. You know why? Because boys will be around men. You know how you know this, right?
Yes.
Remember when the movie Endgame came out? Endgame came out and thing. Marvel Endgame came out in 2019.
Remember that? Okay, Marvel.
One thing I noticed when we went to the whole family, we all went out to go see Endgame. Man, I mean the theater was packed. I mean they had like 4 theaters open just for Endgame, right? Theater was packed. Usually everybody's like, okay, I hope there's no trouble. But what I saw that night, right? Black, white, Filipino men were there. I was like, oh, and these young teenagers there, they were really checked in mind. Why? Because there were all these ex-Marines. There were strong men around. This when men are present, right? They ain't gonna be no fight. Some of these guys carry guns. Some of these guys look like they're hunting and fishing, redneck types. You got big, strong black men out there with their sons, everything, with their families, everything. When you see men involved in the community and something like that, it's a different thing.
Yes.
What you have is 90% of the time, men are somewhere off thing, and all you have is these teenagers and single women. Just all hell is breaking loose. Daddy's not home. That's the problem. You know, that's not the problem.
Got a Lion Selassie. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that whoever that feminist or whatever that was trying to come on or something.
I can't hear him well.
Yeah.
Bro, you gotta speak up.
I can't hear you, Lion. You gotta speak up, Lion.
Hello? You hear me?
Yeah,
now?
speak up, bro.
You gotta speak up.
Yeah. I think the whole thing with the whole feminism and all this alphabet, agenda they pushing in Black America is problematic. You know, I think they were when BLM was saying, "Oh, we got to destroy the patriarchy. We have to do all that type of stuff." And this other lady that was on there. I don't know where she was from.
She's an agent. She's an agent of them. She's an agent of them. That's what she's calling for.
Yeah, something like that.
Voice for you. You know, they got their agent.
Yeah. She's probably, I don't know. Maybe she's like sound like she's, I don't know. Maybe she was Kenyan or like from Nairobi, because a lot of them be westernized mindset and something that they have a colonized mindset. Some of them, not all of them, but the one I've met some. But I think that the men were already the target, you know what I'm saying? Because like people, they're not scared of a woman and stuff because so once they destroy the males or something like that, then
the males,
it's easy target.
Brother, Lion,
discredit them more.
Not just destroy. You have to character assassinate and discredit them. That's why they gotta get rid of people like Bill Cosby, and they're always attacking black men. Chris Brown, they're doing the same thing to him. Any sort of black man they can bring down and everything.
Yeah, the black, the black misandry. Yeah, because I mean, America is built off of black misandry. It's like the black male is like some beast that need to be put down, and all this type of stuff. So the whole thing was set up. The whole it's engineered. I mean, America engineered.
And the media is too. The media and everything. So
a
black
media, media.
Same thing.
Yeah. The media is engineered, and only person. I mean, I would say Phil from the Scott from the African Diaspora channel and stuff like that. He's doing
Yeah.
amazing work. And
Oh yeah, I
yeah, but
love
it's
it.
like a joke, man. And you know, they spent 20 years bashing black men in America, like Oprah and all these different channels just bashing the black man. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's some sad stuff, man. You know, it's real messed up, right?
Yeah.
And
You're right, brother. Bottom line, you
that
see, you called it in my show before.
yeah. And I think that this I think Pan African is the way to go. And getting to the motherland, putting
It's the
investing in
outlet.
that place.
Let me tell you something,
It's the
brother
outlet.
Line. Let me go, Selassie. Check this out. The bottom line is this: what they want is control over our mind, right? We're not allowed to think about everything but they tell us to think about. Just sit here, be the problem of America. What you got some YouTubers who are spewing the same racist talking about black men no good, black men this, black men that. You got to see angry black women on social media doing the same thing. All they're doing is being an arm of white supremacy to get into it because they know we're tuned out to that stuff, right? So they come on social media spewing this nonsense and everything. Like some guy, girl in the chat room said, "Dinas, I like you, I'm attracted, but you're low key off times, whatever." That little jab right there. We don't think we know. We know that these hate mongering feminists are here. You know, is that T West? You know, and you got these hate mongering females that like that, and Negroes and everything that want to destroy black male and female relationships. You know, and one thing we used to always have. You remember? Do you guys remember Max Robinson? Who Max Robinson was? Okay, he was the Trans-Africa's brother, what's his called? What's I forgot his name? Trans-Africa's a guy from Trans-Africa's brother, right? And just let me look it up. I gotta be right about this. Let me look it up.
Yeah. And
you remember him, right?
Saying that
He quit the news. He quit the news media because he said he was tired. I was like, well, he said a lot of the people stuff that he was talking about, right, was lies. He said in the bottom line, the media would report on his community and they would tell lies, distortions and everything, you know, and which we call he said, no, I can't do this no more. You know, he was one of the first black anchors in America, you know, and so the bottom line is this Randall Robinson. Randall Robinson's brother is Trans-Africa, you know. They was in Liberia for the 1979 OAU conference covering that. You know, I don't know if it made anything headlines or anything, but he said he wanted to report on things that's going on in Black America, progressive things. It's not all doom and gloom, you know, because if you make it doom and gloom, it will be doom and gloom. Yeah, you report on the problems, but if you make everything Black people do is a problem and everything like that only white people can come and fix and everything, you're basically taking the people and you're putting them back in chains. It's all psychological, you know. And so he basically said, no, that's not how our community rolls. We're not like that. We got good people in our community, you know. They make it seem like all our community is all abandoned children, everybody running wild, and anything goes and everything. He said, no, that's not how our community is, you know. Carla got Alzheimer's, you know. I forget sometimes, but why would you wish that on me? You know, I'm not Alzheimer's. I'm not that old.
May I also add something, please?
Good.
And also, you guys said during slavery, the reason why they were able to go to Africa and replenish people is because at that time period, we had a strong population. Because again, polygamy wasn't in existence. So
yeah, we have African societies had literally millions of people. Like they didn't really like a Benin City. Was a big metropolis, right?
Thank you.
A few thousand people leaving every year. They didn't see any significance because it was that strong. You know, it was that big and powerful. Even though the consciousness of Black people happened when you left the continent and came to America. So that's why I think a lot of Africans were conscious of what exactly was going on in the world because Benin City. If Europeans from each slave port could take 500 people, and there's 500 slave ports along the coast, you're talking about millions of people over the hundreds of years, you know? So it didn't look like, from the African point, it didn't look like a lot of people, but it was. You know, it was a lot of people. It altered the whole population here in the New World. You know, 20, 30 million people were transported across the Atlantic over 340 years. You know,
see, that's the issue I have with people like Dolly. Dolly doesn't look at the bigger picture of what she's talking about. And I heard of that situation of the women building their own village, but I think they were supported by some NGO, again, some external white group coming in instead of saying if there is problem with the men.
It happened in Colombia too. It happened all over the world. It happened in Colombia too. They put an all women's town in Colombia. There was one in Bolivia. I think.
But why don't they repair the relationship between men and women? Because a lot of times it's socioeconomic stress.
The reason why they don't want to do that is because these feminists, right? Since ideology can't really work in America, right? They go to these desperately poor countries, right? Instead of enforcing the laws and enforcing the laws that's on the books, right? Their idea is to separate men from women, and same thing they do in the black girls, and they say with this black girl magic and stuff like that. And so black women, Michelle Obama, black girls have more opportunities in America than black boys. You know,
as a black girl, you still need love and care. See, that's the issue. These feminists,
but they don't think it like
feminists don't see. Even though you give her the education, you give her the books. When I used to work hospice, I had a lady in her late 40s. Had this terminal diagnosis and passed away. Well, she told me that when she was younger, she terminated because she wanted a successful career. Now she has since passed on. She regretted it to her death day, because who knows, that child she could have been the one taking care of her. She had no one to take care of except like external family members. You know, so that's why when it comes to the issues of, like I tell you, abortion and stuff, we have to give people a bigger picture of what it entails, even for that woman. So where are the feminists when she was sick in the hospital? Where were
they're not there. They can't use it no more. You have more use for you. That's the whole thing. These people come around and they use you, and they tell you're a victim and stuff like that, and so they can push their own agenda. When these white feminists, it's not about the black woman, it's about them, right? And then what gets me is this: Jane Fonda, didn't she end up marrying Ted Turner, a billionaire?
Yes.
You know, all these white feminists talk all that stuff, but they get married they go off and marry their white family. They have their white, they get their white picket fence and everything. They leave the black woman destroyed and hating their own man.
Thank you.
You know, Gloria Steinem and all these other people. They do all this stuff. And so the whole thing is we need our women to say, yo, look, you know, that's not what it is. You know, I understand it's intimidating to a lot of black people, right? If you're weak, right? White people come around and tell you, oh, it's not a black thing, it's a female thing. The white women have never been oppressed in America, you know, and the black man never oppressed the black woman in America, you know. And so the bottom line, to compare their struggle, which is about power, and it's all about power, because white women want power, you know. These women want power. They want the power that the white, they're going up and saying, my daddy gave the heritage to my brother. I'm smarter than him. Why don't I have it? So they're saying, you know something? Why don't we white women become the new power, right? We can emasculate the white man. That's what the whole Bill Clinton thing was about. And he becomes a beta, and we just run things. So men are stupid, you know? All this thing about men are stupid. And so basically, if a man says a woman is stupid, they're not capable of lead, right? What do you call them? A sexist, what's the word? Sexist, a male chauvinist, everything like that. But women actually put this out there that men are stupid, they're like that. And we as a society accept it. You know, we accept the negative image of men, you know, in general. And with black men, this is 10 times worse. Men are demonized. Women are glorified. You know, women are deified and everything, you know. They can do no wrong, you know. They're not politically ambitious. They want to do the right thing. Stacey Abrams is not a political ambitious, you know. She's not Hillary Clinton. They only want to get in office to do the right thing. They have.
But you notice they don't have. Where's her husband, Stacey Abrams' husband?
She doesn't have a. They don't have. She don't. See,
this is the stuff I'm talking about. Where's her man? Somebody.
No, I think she's a lesbian. You know, I think she's a lesbian.
We gotta be careful. We don't know. We don't know. Hey, Aluta, unmute yourself, Aluta.
Oh, good evening, everybody. How are you guys doing?
You gotta speak
Hello.
up.
Are you Kala? Are you Michelle?
How you doing,
Prince? I greet everybody. Regarding the topic, I know you've expounded on a lot of things. My concern is, where do we go from here? Like, what do we do to fix the problem? Because they're not the first black network, quote unquote, to collapse. There's been numerous that have come before that. And it's like they keep making the same mistake. Or how can they fix the problem? That's what I'm.
They don't want to fix the problem. They're going to keep doing it, right? Because they think there's some magic thing. And like if you look at Roland Martin's recent rant, right, against all the YouTubers and everything, that's what's coming. They're angry. They're blaming us for their failure. You know, they're blaming the
Okay, well, what did he say about YouTubers? I remember
he
was
just
begging
said
for
he
some
called all the YouTubers out. Phil Scott, you know, Vet
money. He
Carter.
called out Phil Scott.
Yeah, he called them all out. He said, "Look, man,
What was this? What was this?
the other day, man. He said Roland he was cursing. He was going off, man. He was mother F and
No.
you know,
Wait, hold on.
I
Where's
watched
the video?
it.
you watched it, right?
Send the video.
No, no,
Hey,
no,
hold on.
no,
Send the video. I want to send the video. Send the video. Where's the video at?
No.
Okay,
The part-
I don't know if you want to play Empowering ADOS's clip, but she clipped it up. You want to play her?
Yeah. I don't care. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Okay, I'll send it for her.
Email, send it to me on Facebook or email it to me.
Okay, I'll send it to you on email. Okay, go ahead, Kuda. Look through it.
the part of it that I read, I watched some of his videos, and what he was saying was about the future of media or of the black media should be streaming services or something to that nature. That he didn't believe in cable services because of the way the marketing dollars were shared. I think about $300 billion a year. That the black media gets a little bit of it, so they cannot survive if they stay on cable.
And it's not their job. What point of is not their responsibility to give black media money?
Right, that's my point. That they have this handout mentality of white people save me mentality. How do we do that ourselves? Why do we always have to go to white people to get money from them for us to survive? Of course, if I'm giving you money, then I have influence on what you say. I'm gonna have influence on what you put out there. So I don't know.
Hold on, guys. I'm about to play the clip real quick. Hold
Okay,
on.
I was just about to send it to you, man. You found it.
They money where their mouth is, or they gonna put their feet where their asses are. Here's what I want to know. If you look at what Gary's standing for, ADOS, FBA, B1, ain't that y'all agenda? So here's the question. ADOS, FBA, and B1. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead, and I don't normally do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. ADOS, FBA, B1, Yvette Carnell, Antonio Moore, Vicky Dillard, Jason Black. Y'all gonna take y'all asses to Louisiana? Y'all gonna broadcast y'all shows from Louisiana? Or y'all gonna go with Gary and register black people in Louisiana? That's what I wanna know. So let me just go ahead and put it out there. Antonio, Yvette, Boyce, Vicky, Miss Bad Lace Front, Jason Black, hiding your ass behind your camera. Roland Martin Unfiltered is going to be in Louisiana. We're going to spend time on the ground in Louisiana, broadcasting from those small towns, talking to black people. Where y'all going to be? What y'all going to do? Your agenda? Gary, back in your issues. Are you going to go there to try to register those 300,000 unregistered African Americans in Louisiana? Are you going to go there to get them registered and turn them out? That's the challenge.
Hold on. Is this a get out and vote, register folks to vote?
Exactly.
God.
Dinus, exactly. That's all it is get out the vote. How did that turn out in Baltimore? How did that turn out in Chicago? We got more Negroes elected in office and whatnot. And so in other words, basically, it's all this. If you get this guy out the vote and everything, that's it. It's about creating a new. The black political class is nothing but a buffer class oppressive system, right? To put themselves and their kids in power, send their kids off to the best white schools and everything, live the good life while they purport to us about how miserable America is for the rest of us. That's all it is.
So is Rolly going hard to get people to register are we still on this register to vote? Do black people not know how to just register to vote? Like,
the bottom line, know what it is. Black people aren't motivated to vote. They don't care because they see it's hopeless down in Louisiana. If you study Louisiana, the way you guys study Huey Long, the president, former governor, right? and back in the days, right? And Louisiana is so important. Louisiana has so much wealth in the oil, right? They could give black people the highest standard of living in the world, but they systematically made sure that they keep a black poverty ingrained for generations and generations. While white people, there's documentaries on that, and a lot of black people in Louisiana fighting back. And these people aren't talking about that. They're not talking about taking some of the wealth that black people lost with lands and everything from the oil companies. They're not talking about that. It's all about getting them in office so they can cut deals with white people and do the same old, same old. You know, how you cannot have politics until you have a social and economic order in place, and that starts with the black family, black businesses, and things on the ground. Then you talk about politics to gain more of that. You know, but we come in empty-handed and leaving empty-handed. You know, so now okay, that's fine. People are like, oh, politics failed us. Now, Roland Martin, they send Roland Martin to browbeat us and bully us back to getting into the polls. You know, same way they like, Roland, you better get up there and vote or you're a punk. You know, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you're a punk. Remember that? You remember he put his fat face up to the camera? You're a punk. You know, I'm like, Roland, man.
Let me finish the video. Let me finish the video. Hold on.
I'm putting out there for all y'all. Greg, go ahead.
Well, that's the challenge, Roland. That is the challenge if they will do that. And I'll say a couple of things. There's so much there that you laid out. One, I don't think any of the people that you named have much influence at all. The appearance of keyboard warriors and social media.
Hold on. Let's do this right now. Hold on.
Evidence of the failure.
Oh, let's do this right now. Hold on, Colin. Hold on. Let's do it. We're gonna do this right now. We're gonna set the record straight on this right now. Don't have much influence. He mentioned Jason Black. He mentioned
Vicky Dillard. That's Phil Scott. Vicky Dillard.
No, Vicky Dillard's not with Phil Scott. Vicky Dillard's with Boyce Watkins.
Vicky Dillard is now with the African Diaspora Challenge. She's not with Boyce Watkins no more.
You sure?
Yes, bro. Things have been changing. I know you're pretty.
She does contributing. She contributes with the African Diaspora Channel. I've seen her a few times.
Yeah. Well, things have changed, brother.
Okay. Hold on. Let me look up something. I want to look up something real quick. Okay, we're gonna start with Jason Black first. Okay, hold on. All right. So Jason's last video that he streamed 15 minutes ago got 9,000 views. Let's look at Roland Martin. All right, so Roland Martin, let's see here. Okay, let's do this. Roland Martin's video, he streamed a day ago, got 31,000 views. All right, 3 days ago, got 26,000 views. Let's look at Jason Black's. Let me go back to Jason Black real quick. Hold on 1 second. All right, Jason Black's video he did 6 days ago is at 50,000 views. Let's see where Roland Martin's at as far as a video he did, 6 days ago. Hold on.
It's time to be smart. Roland Martin.
All right, let's see here. Okay, here we go. No. Here we go. All right, so Roland Martin's video that got uploaded 8 hours ago, 906 views.
Damn.
7 hours ago, 1,000 views.
Right.
6 hours ago, 1.1 thousand. An hour ago, 1.8 thousand. Hold on. I want to go to like 6 days ago. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So 6 days ago. Here we go. So Jason Black, his video was at 50,000 6 days ago. Roland Martin 6 days ago. One video, 8.1 thousand. Another video, 3.5 thousand. Another video, 26,000. Another 6 days ago, 33,000. 6 days ago, 2.2 thousand. Yeah, I mean, so what's this dude talking about that Jason?
Check this out. Another thing is this: Roland is only getting those numbers because he's connected with all these other people. He has, and also he has people backing him, and stuff like that. And also, he's a public figure, So of course, but the fact that he's even competing with check him with Tariq. Tariq blows him away. O'Shea Jackson kills him. O'Shea Jackson gets an average of 60,000 per video within like 2 or 3 days. So if you want to talk numbers, you got Angry Man. All these other people that got So he said nobody listens to him. So in other words, people listen to us. It's going in one ear out the other. But another thing, look at the comment section, right? Look at the comments. Sometimes they don't even put their comments up. They close comments because they know that a lot of people don't comment. If they don't get like a lot of comments, they'll shut the comments off. So you don't know how many comments. Look at your comments, like 400 comments in a freaking show, you know? And some of these other people, 1,000 comments. That means people are engaged in these platforms. So what are you talking about? Nobody's listening to them. What are they, crazy? You know? It's these people that they have this sense of self-importance that they don't want to let go. And this is what happened when they went on the thing. They think they're important. They think they got the ear of the people, and the people are not talking about what people want to hear. Now, we don't agree with things that Jason Black says, but he says a lot of relevant stuff that people talk about.
I don't agree with everything that Tariq, Jason,
Right.
Vicky Dillon says, but I mean, like, nobody listens to you, Roland. Like, nobody listens. Listen, Roland was just crying earlier this week about not getting any money from Joe Biden.
Right. And what they're mad about is these other people aren't asking for money. So Roland's angry that these people are doing YouTube platforms, doing what they're getting their message out there. You know, look at Phil Scott. He's taking a group to Africa and blowing that up and whatnot. You know, we might have African diaspora channel on major networks on the continent, man. That's a game changer, right? What is Roland Martin doing? You know, Phil's not asking no money from Joe Biden. He's not asking money from the Democrat. He's not asking none money for white backers. How's Phil Scott making a living and paying people and whatnot? You know, this is the whole thing. We need the white man. See, I'm going to drop a jewel right now. The whole thing, this is the end of we need the white man in America to survive. You got people out there, YouTubers and everything, making their own money and everything like that and everything. They're not crying for advertisers and everything like that. So why is Roland Martin talking about, we don't spend no money in the news outlets and everything? He's a joke. And he's angry because the bottom line, he's praying every day. Like, remember the commercial, Calgon, Take Me Away? Remember that, Calgon, Take Me Away? Right, Michelle knows what I'm talking about, right? Roland's like, CNN, take me away. This Negro don't want to be on the internet. He wants to be back on CNN. He's like, see, I'm important, man. I'm back on CNN, you know? But the bottom line is all these major networks are struggling. I mean, Fox News has more viewers than anybody else. They only got like 6 million views in prime time a night, you know? And so the bottom line is Joe Rogan is beating all of them on the podcast. You know, his live podcast streamed at 12 million on prime time. So the old media outlet and everything is going. If you don't have a game plan, and Joe Rogan's big because he talks about what his audience want to hear. The broadcast media puts media out there, and traditionally we just suck up whatever they tell us. You know what's important. With the internet, you can't do that. You build your audience by talking about things. People listen to Prince Dynasty Man. Why? Because he talks about Pan-African. He talks about social issues and stuff like that. He has different guests on. People obviously like hearing that. So that's why the show is important. Same thing with Ochedu Jackson. Same thing with all these other YouTubers. They found their audience. They found a niche, and they go for it. Same thing with Brandon. You know, everybody got their niche. But the old thing is, Roland Martin wants to be able to impose himself on you. You know, give him dollars so he can impose himself on you. If there was a thing where every time you open up your mobile phone and his face pops up and whatnot, he will be happy for that, you know. Now, nigga, y'all can't escape me and whatnot, you know. That's what it is. That's why Al Sharpton is like that. You know, he's on MSNBC. You think he cares about the internet? No, because the bottom line, he's going to get a certain amount of views because the broadcast media is an imposition. You know, this is building. You got to really build this, you know, to be relevant. And what happens is this: they're not able to get black people motivated anymore because black people are looking at what we have to say. You know, they're looking at what Tariq has to say. They're looking at what Omar Johnson has to say. They look at what everybody has to say about just going out there giving you up with Democrats. And that's resonating with a lot of black people. And they don't like that. Why? Because they're like this. If we can't get, we're going to lose our credibility if we can't be the go-between between the white Democratic establishment and the black community. You know, we're in their way. We're in the way of them. And the whole thing is, if they had a master plan, I would say let's go for it. But it's going to be the same old. Get out and vote Democrat. Collect your butter biscuits and fried chicken and go home. You know, as long as we got the orange man out and the Democrats in, that's all it is. You know.
Also, might also add with mainstream media, especially BNC, when it came to the Bill Cosby case, they took a more of a liberal approach to how Bill Cosby's situation was, where I believe Bill Cosby was innocent.
Yeah, so did most of us.
And
You know?
white mainstream media can't stand the fact that black people think Bill Cosby's innocent.
Yeah, they hate that. They hate that with passion. If
And
they
we
say
still
somebody's
support OJ.
guilty, they'll say, check this out. If they say that somebody that we should distance themselves, then we should do it. Whatever they tell us to do, we can't. We used to be among ourselves. They used to be able to do this before because we had our own magazines, we had our own radios. When they took over with Clear Channel, Radio One, and iHeart took over Black Urban Radio and stuff like that. We used to have black-owned media companies in places like New York that had listeners bigger than the white stations. We used to have our radio stations had more listeners on a day-to-day basis than the white rock stations. And so when they took over and recruited the same people that used to give us black radio and stuff like that, we never really had television. We had BET, but that was a joke. But the bottom line, we did have radio and print media. We had our own media in this country. But now when black people on code and stuff like that, and black people on code, they didn't like the fact it was black media who delivered the apartheid movement, anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. It was black radio stations, black colleges. It was black magazines. We're all on code that we want to bring South Africa down. And we all South African businesses, we got out of our cities. We didn't let the airlines land in our port airports that we controlled. We did our banks. We made sure our banks were divested from them. We did all that stuff like that. Why? Because we had black media. We were on code. We were on code with each other. We don't have that anymore. We don't have that anymore.
All right, hey, Michelle, what we'll do? Go ahead, and then and then after that, Colin, we'll close out. But go ahead, Michelle.
Hey, do you have Jamal Omar? He says he's on the line. Is he on the chat?
I mean, every time he comes in, he don't say no.
I think he got this time.
Jamal.
Hey, what's up? I'm on. You guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I just want to say, as far as the Roland Martin, I mean, I agree with him as far as the ADOS rhetoric. He's going against ADOS. I think fundamentally that's what he's doing. But he's kind of off base when he's talking about, in terms of the new black media. And I think where the new black news channel, where they failed at, is that they were very outdated. They were trying to use the Fox News, CNN model when that's not how a lot of blacks, particularly the younger blacks, 50 and under, that's not how we consume media.
They got TikTok. Black people get TikTok.
We got it's so many streams, right? Like we got Dynast platform, we got all these different Jason Black, all those different platforms where we're getting this news media from. So I think that's where a lot of the black news channel where it failed off at. Now, I do agree with Roland Martin that the ADOS is pretty much an online movement, right? So I think the angle he was trying to come out, like, where y'all at in real life? Like, are you guys having any politicians? Are you guys backing anybody in real life? So I think that was the angle Roland was coming at from his previous videos.
No, I hear you, but Roland is not. Roland was just begging Joe Biden for money last week. Literally begging for money. And you know what he was begging for? You know why he was begging for money and what he was begging it for? And I didn't know this. And Roland let the cat out the bag. So a lot of black media are I would say networks that target black people. They're getting funds from the United States government to push all this vaccine and COVID stuff. Roland was upset that he's not getting any of that bag to push, shake your ass to the COVID test center, and while you're there, get vaccinated. I'm dead serious. Did you see the video that Juvenile did?
Yeah. Bring shake that booty to the pole.
Listen, the U.S. government is funding that. So Roland is upset that he's not getting of that, tell black people go get vaccinated and all this other stuff. He's mad that he's not getting that money. He's upset. And he was
that's what it is. And the bottom line is this: we're like crabs in a barrel. Now I'm saying like this. Now I'm like this. On one hand, that Roland Martin makes a point. It was like, okay, what are you doing? Like I said, this is the whole thing, right? They don't have Jason Black and all of them. Don't have it. They have people listening to them, right? So they actually are media. They may not have an agenda. They're not Pan-Africanists, the ADOS, whatever like that. But the fact that they could draw an audience, right? That fact that people consistently listen to them. And that is the thing. If Roland can't get people to listen to him. And they get angry You got to start talking about what people want to hear. People want to hear about these things, you know? And so, like I said, a lot of people in our community talk about a lot of topics and everything all the time, and it's not talked about in the mainstream or a lot of these people who call themselves speaking for us and everything. We talk about crime. We talk about guns in our community, gun violence and everything. We talk about gentrification and stuff like that. We talk about the housing market and everything. Everybody's talking about the gas prices, you know. Everybody's talking about the gas prices. Lord have mercy.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing, Kyle. I think for some reason, ADOS and that algorithm of social media is just bring numbers, you know. So I think Roland Martin does have a point on that. I will say this though, that I think the most practical thing, because I know you guys were talking about the black community earlier. It's impossible to get 45 million people to go to Africa, right? We agree on that. But I think we have to have a practical common bond that, look, I can be in Atlanta or Philadelphia and also maybe have one foot in Lagos, Nigeria. Or
right. That's all we're saying.
You know
that's
what
what we're saying.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Jamal, you came up in the BAO. You're my right-hand man. You know, have I ever once said that we ought to get on a boat and leave tomorrow? No.
Nah, never. Yep, never.
I'm saying that, look, if somebody asked me, how can I invest in Liberia? Okay, buy some property, build a house. I mean, when you build a house, you're buying concrete, wood, cement. Don't import your furniture from Europe. Have your furniture locally made. You're pumping money right into the economy. That's how you build yourself a nice house and everything on the continent or not. You're contributing. You know, you're buying local material, you're hiring local laborers. That's your investment. You know, you have a house to go to. You put it part of your portfolio. You can go there. You can rent it out, Airbnb, when you're not there, make money off it. You know, that's what you can do. You know, let's go. It gave me an idea. Look at a brother experience in Liberia. He's doing it right now. You know, so the bottom line is this. This is what we're talking about. And when people talk about this, thanks to Prince Dynasty Mir, 4 years I've been on the show, Phil Scott is now, I can't believe my luck, man. He's doing that. I mean, he's putting that work in, you know. I mean,
and Colin, not only Phil Scott, but brothers like Dynas and you know, you guys inspired O'Shea Jackson. Call it what it is, you know.
O'Shea now got the Condonda channel and stuff like that, you know. So this is things that came out of just this platform right here. This platform right here just basically create a revolution, you know. And so the bottom line is this. If you're not on this wavelength, black people, like people say, well, how is that important? Well, that's money. There's the year return in Ghana put $1 billion in Ghana's economy. You know, that's significant. There's people like Bomani Tyehimba took 500 people to the African continent, right? Why? Because of YouTube platforms and word of mouth information, everything. That's news. You know, that's significant. When you create something tangible, you can't dismiss that. You know, now at the same time, we were taught that just voting, right, just getting the right to vote and voting was our test. That's all we need to know. I just got a right to vote. You know, I remember we even have that in South Africa, right, where Nelson Mandela was elected, right? There was an old 90. I remember, never forget this, right? I never forget this. Back in '94, a 94-year-old woman, right? She was carried to the poll, right? They were carried to the poll. She put her little finger on the thing for a picture of Nelson Mandela, right? She goes, "Now I could die. I voted," right? Now in that same village, right? Now, no, I'm not. Look, that was an inspirational moment, right? And bottom line,
but listen, that same village has not changed. Might be worse off.
That's not changed one friggin' bit. It's gotten worse. But she voted. We've been taught, right? We black people are uneducated as far as like we don't understand voting is just one thing. Do you know when this country was founded, only people who own property were registered to vote? You know, this idea everybody got to vote was never in the thing. It was only white men with property who voted, right? Because they have a stake. If you moved out to the West, right, you couldn't just be a riffraff transient and talk about voting. No, the people who voted are people who had a stake in the community. You can't just come in. Now we have it so anybody can vote, whether you got a stake in the community and everything. That's what we have in these political communities in the big cities. But back in the days, you had to be somebody. You had to be, okay, you're coming to town. Okay, I'm gonna buy a piece of. Oh, that's good. What do you plan on doing? Oh, I want to grow some wheat over here in this field, raise some cattle in that field, go into the salt business, trade salt and everything. I got a shipment here. I'm gonna bring in from St. Louis. I got to connect here and everything. Okay, you're going to be part of the community. Now you can vote. You know, now you can vote. Because why? Because you have a stake. what your vote mean you're not going to vote against your interests to 90%. Now they can all have disagreement which way it's going to go. It's always going to be like that, right? But what you have is black people going to the poll with nothing to contribute, nothing to gain, nothing to contribute other than what they ask for government handouts. We don't have any black business group and everything saying we want to get into the oil field. We want to get into the oil business. We want to get into this. We want this to change everything. We're not organized like that, So how can you demand somebody to go out to vote when we're not organized to get something tangible, that we're going to gain? We don't have a black business community. We have a black contractor. Jamal is an engineer, electrical engineer in Philadelphia, right? Jamal, we talked about something, right, Jamal? Jamal, you're an electrical engineer in Philadelphia for 15, 16 years, right? What ethnic group, as far as black people, are the most dominant in that field?
Oh, the African American, Black Americans.
So why do people think that Nigerians and all these people just come in and taking over? You're making like $70 an hour or something like that. You're making killing, And so, are you threatened by anybody from the ADOS say that's going to take your job? Are you frightened by that?
No. My biggest person I worry about is the European. I don't see no African immigrant.
White boys.
Let's do this because we're about to close out. I know Michelle wanted to say something. Then we're going to pass it back to you to Kyle. Then we're going to close out. Michelle, you want to say anything in closing?
I just want to thank you, Dynas. Your platform is beautiful. I've watched you, for almost 4 years. I've
been on for 4 years.
I seen you move. I seen your son grow up.
For me, Michelle? Will you watch it for me? Because I showed up here 4 years ago. I'm just kidding.
Listen, I remember.
You're singing. I thought Kyle was singing. Kyle, you don't do it. You're not gonna stop. You stop your singing. You stop singing.
Yeah, I'm not tonight. Not tonight. Next time.
Hey, Michelle. I remember when Kyle was first on Dynas show when brother Professor Davis hooked them brothers up. I remember that show.
Oh, that was like 4 or 5 years. Yes. Time flies, and I've seen like my virtual family. I've seen Dynas' son grow up, and I've seen you move on with your travel plans. It's just a beautiful platform, and see how it emerges is just beautiful. And it's really sad that the BNC couldn't take note of what's really happening in the Black community to see how they could curtail their channel so it could have been successful. Thank you so much, Dynas.
You're welcome. All right, Kyle, go ahead and close it out. But thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you, brother Jamal, for showing up. Michelle, Alliance, Selassie, you got to come on the radio show sometime again. He went Jamal. Y'all been snacking lately on the radio show on Wednesday nights. Y'all been slacking. Anyway, bottom line is this, man. The new old black media begging for they're not going to do it. If Ebony Magazine, you turn out everybody that have Ebony Magazine from back in the days, what's the only thing advertised you saw Ebony Magazine? Newport, St. Ives, some cognac, maybe Cadillac, like 4 or 5 things was consistent in black magazines, right? They don't believe in going to black magazines, right, to reach the black audience. They can reach the black audience through billboards in the community, now through the internet and stuff like that. So Roland thinking that they're going to give him some advertising dollars, right, to reach black folks and whatnot is not going to happen. I hate to break it. I know that's going to crush his heart, crush his spirit and everything. But the bottom line is those of us on the social media, don't pick this fight because you're going to lose. You're trying to gain when we have nothing to lose, and you're just making yourself look bad by doing this. But you do have some points about the ADOS, FBA, and all stuff like that. We get that. But that's the wrong way to come about it. If you had that same smoke for the white Democrats and all these other people who've been abusing black people and everything like that, if you would talk about the DNC and everything like that rolling, if you were using that smoke for them, then you would have something, But the only people you want to talk about maybe is the Republicans and the black people in the social media you don't like. You won't go near those white people on MSNBC and all these people that you're trying to get hired by. So that's what makes you disingenuous. That's all I gotta say.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynas the Mirror, search for Huru. Peace.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye.